Okay, so here's a question from, sorry, I'm going through different texts here. If on this note, if you guys lost the first video and this is the second one, we're trying to do both at the same time. Michael will fix it, post the full version at the end for you guys that are thinking that you missed out or whatever. Okay, so this is from Debbie. If the U.S. gets involved in this war, what do you think will happen to our commitment in Croatia? I don't think we can afford both. And I'm thinking maybe she's thinking Ukraine.
Yeah. We can't really afford anything. We're $33 trillion in debt at this point.
Do a whole video on that.
Yeah, and so we can't afford Ukraine in the first place. We've gotten ourselves into a place where when you're just talking about ammunition, we've spent 7 years of munitions on the Ukraine war. And what that means is with 7 years of peace, it would take us that long to restock our ammunition in America. And so we're not in a really good spot here, no. And so this is again one of those things that happens when you have unwise leadership.
So I was going to ask you on that point. You have a strange time in Israel where Netanyahu's in power, but it's divided because they think he's too far right, is what the media says. And so this is not a good thing to happen when you're divided in an Israel government. We have a strange thing right now with the Speaker of the House that's supposed to be part of making executive branch decisions. And then we have, and I don't want to make fun of him, we have the president that, well, I don't even have to say it.
Right,
It's a scary situation.
Yeah.
When you look at that, do you think that some of the things that we're doing is because of those issues and problems in government to move pieces?
I think these people have no idea what they're doing.
Just totally clueless.
They are so into their theories that have been shown to be nonsense over and over and over again that I don't think they can make a good decision. I think that on one hand, you got a group of people who are in power in the United States who don't love the United States. I think that they're globalists. I think that they're Marxists, and they don't want the kind of America that most of us have grown up with.
Right.
They hate it, and so I think that motivates them. I think that. It's like everybody's talking about Israel and talking about taking care of Israel. This is the exact same kind of thing that happened when 9/11 took place. When 9/11 took place, it's years ago, over 20 years ago. But when that took place and everybody was pro-America, I just went, yeah, let's wait and see. And, it wasn't too long after 9/11 took place that you started having people on the left come out and say that maybe we deserved it. And,
I remember that. It was a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be exactly the same situation with this. I think the Biden administration is talking. I think that the things that they're talking about right now are just great, supporting Israel and making sure that they have the right, that they have the ability to defend themselves. I think that that's all great, and I think it's going to change here pretty quick because they don't care about Israel, and they've made that clear. They have funded Hamas, and so. Hello, this is what happens when you fund Hamas.
To another biblical prophecy of potential America being the lions on the side that are claiming protest or whatever, but not doing anything. We've moved our ships over there. To your point, we've made stances verbally, but you had 14 Americans dead, multiple American hostages, and there's a way to deal with that maybe a different administration approaching that with Americans would deal with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, go and get them.
Yeah,
and exactly. Then you have the situation in Afghanistan where we withdrew, left them all those tools. They don't trust us anymore.
Yeah, they're talking about Hamas is using American weapons.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're like the diplomatic protest. Don't do that. Oh, we
Yeah.
have our ships in the sea. We're there if you need us. That type of thing.
Yeah.
And I know it's speculative on some point, but
Yeah, and what Matt's talking about is there's a passage in Ezekiel 38 when these armies come down against Israel that says that Sheba Dedan, that's Saudi Arabia, the merchants of Tarshish and all their young lions will say to you, have you come to take plunder? Have you gathered your army to take booty, to carry away silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods, and to take great plunder? And it's a diplomatic protest. And the question there is, who are the young lions of Tarshish? What is Tarshish and who are the young lions of Tarshish? And there are some that believe that Tarshish may be talking about Great Britain. It was known biblically as a place where you could get tin, and it was the farthest away from basically Israel that you could get. It's where Jonah was on his way to, and when he was trying to get away from God. And so there's a chance that that's Great Britain, and if that's the case, then all the young lions would include Canada and Australia and America, actually, being colonies of Great Britain, and just putting up a diplomatic protest. I think there's stuff that needs to get the United States out of the way, because we are not. This is the only place that I know of that you can point to that may be actually talking about the United States here.
Right.
Young lions of Tarshish, and I think that there are things that have to get us to that point. Now it could be we just withdraw and we become isolationist, and you saw some of that under the Trump administration. Even though he took care of things, he famously bombed Syria and got rid of ISIS and that whole thing. I think that was well done. But we could get more isolationists and just not want to be involved in world affairs, or there could be other things that cause us internal turmoil that keep us out. And so that could be a civil war. We have millions of people that have crossed over our southern and northern borders and are in the United States, and we have no idea.
who have not been vetted.
They have not been vetted. We haven't even vetted the people that they have allowed in, not the people that got away. We can't vet the people that have come into the United States because we have no way of doing that, because they don't have information on these people in the countries where they came from.
And you know that if they are getting picked up, they're being told, hey, check with us back in 2, 3, and sometimes 5 years.
Yeah.
See you in 5 years.
Yeah.
No idea who you are. We don't have time. See you in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's a great way to get a bunch of terrorists in the United States.
Yep.
And so I have no doubt that that's already taken place. So, if I was Hamas and I hated the United States, if I was Iran and I hated the United States, if I was China and I hated the United States, any of these countries, I would be sending in military-aged men to put up sleeper cells and cause all kinds of anarchy and chaos in the United States when the time comes that they need that to take place.
Right.
And so I have no doubt that this is our future. That's what's going to happen. And when it was first taking place, I was just like, I cannot believe that the Democrat Party is so ridiculously short-sighted, or even treasonous. It could be that. I don't even know what makes these people function. I don't know what their thinking is in this whole thing. And you've heard people say that it's so they can increase the Democratic base and that kind of stuff. We have terrorists in the world that want to kill us, and they either they are so naive that they don't see it, or they don't care. And either one is going to get a lot of people hurt.